Welcome into SBR Madness for April 7th alongside Maxwell Smart. I am Drew Martin. We're doing the early look at the national championship game. Also, a little recap of the Final Four, how betting went. But happy Sunday morning to you, Max. How you doing this morning?
Listen, it was a rough second game last night for me because as I am wearing the hat of the winning team, I did not bet on the winning team. I took it in the bottom mouth. I almost got my prison hole violated, but I was able to run away quite fast. I did end up losing about $400 on the Michigan State game. It hurt, but it happens. Texas Tech played a fantastic game. They're suffocating defense, closing out on guys, really handcuffing Michigan State's offense and making them look adolescent. What they did to Michigan, they did to Michigan State. And I now know that any player on Texas Tech that goes to Michigan for vacation and anybody that knows their name will be spitting in their food and pissing in their cereal.
Took it in the old prison pocket and the old pissing in the cereal. That doesn't sound good at all, man. It was a rough night for me. No, I haven't even gone over the numbers as far as wins or losses. I can guarantee you it was loss. Lost. First of all, Auburn lost. That's my team. Second of all, it didn't go over. Third of all, Michigan State lost. So just overall, terrible Final Four. It was a fun standpoint from the aspect of, especially the first game, Max. I thought it was exciting to watch. Back and forth. Auburn made a push. A lot of people think that Auburn got. I think the double dribble there was worse than the foul call. It was out in the open, off of his shoe, picked it up, ending his dribble, and then he started dribbling again. And it wasn't like in a crowd of people where it could have been mixed. It was out in the open. It was just like they didn't have the rules there, man. Do you have any kind of thoughts on that missed call?
Well, to be perfectly frank, I was celebrating the fact that I thought Auburn had this win, and then that fucking foul. Obviously, the foul had to be called. Kyle guy got hit on his leg. It was clear as day to see. It's just, come on, man. You got the lead. You got minimal seconds. It's like, please. This is what you practice and work on all year on your closeouts and not fouling three-point shooters. So it was just devastating because I was already celebrating for you, Drew. I was celebrating for me. I was celebrating for anybody that bet Auburn on the money line. I'm like, yes, the public will win. The public will win. And then fucking Kyle guy with those free throws. Listen, you're gonna have ice in your veins. You're gonna hit those fucking shots. It was an exceptional sign of balls and guts, but goddamn, man, Auburn fucking got robbed. They deserve to be in this national championship game.
And especially, like you said, he got fouled. I had the over, and what it was 62-60 at that point. And so he had 3 foul shots. So I'm like, oh, man, all is not lost. He's an 80% free throw shooter. But if he makes 2 of 3, that's definitely a possibility, maybe a probability. I'm like, then it goes 62-62, and we head to overtime. Obviously, the over would hit, and Auburn still got a shot. Heck, I think that they have as good a shot as Virginia, if not more. It seemed like the momentum was more in their favor, except for that last little bit where Virginia made that push. So it just didn't go my way, didn't go your way, it sounds like, Max. So let us know in the chat box what you guys think. But it was a tough Final Four for me from a betting standpoint, from a fan standpoint. But still, I think that it was a fun game to watch, that first one. The second one, you touched on it a bunch. I mean, Michigan State, I don't think looked good at all. They played one of their worst games of the season. Texas Tech's defense is it's great. It's what the top 5 defense anyway in the country. And we'll preview the national championship here in a second. Steven, what's up, man? Good morning to you. Welcome in the chat box. J93, morning to you as well. Tony, what's up, man? Ron Fig, wake and bake. Have at it, man. Enjoy your Sunday morning. Gabriel Hernandez, Buenos dias to you. Yeah, Michigan State couldn't even cover a +9. What up, boys from Minnesota? Chris, you were there last night. Section 116, crazy atmosphere. It looked crazy, man. It was fun. I had some friends from college that were there, like seeing their stories and their videos, man. It looked like a wild atmosphere. Obviously, a lot of people, a lot of room in that place, and a lot of hooting and hollering. Did you see anything there with the atmosphere, Max, that kind of surprised you?
No, nothing really with the atmosphere. I was just astounded by the amazing game that we witnessed with the Auburn-Virginia game. And then, to be quite frank, I spent the whole first half cussing at the television, being like, Michigan State, man, the fuck up. Michigan State, what? You like fucking watching your fucking girls get fucked by other dudes on Texas Tech? Like, I was saying some fucking vulgar, vicious shit. And, yeah, so that first half is now a blur to me. All I know is that it cost me goddamn money. Local strippers did not get their chicken tenders last night. I can tell you that.
Yeah, man. No strippers getting their chicken tenders. Chris was there. Michigan State looked even worse live. Their fans were the loudest of the 4 teams, but were quieted quickly. He's also saying we all thought in the stadium Auburn won, had no idea the foul was called until almost a minute later. Fans were booing like crazy and throwing stuff towards the refs as they left. Yeah, I don't deny it. I mean, everybody heard the boos on the TV as well. It was man, I hate for the game to end like that, but it is what it is. I do think it was a call. I'm more pissed about the missed double dribble, like we said. But any other thoughts on the recap, Max, before we start breaking down the national championship?
Listen, what we got yesterday was defense wins. We're going to get a national championship of the top 2 defenses. And I will say this, Ty Jerome, he is the key player for this Virginia Wahoo team. If he is in foul trouble, they are in trouble. What we saw yesterday when he went out with his 4th foul, what did Auburn do? Go on an 11-0 run and a 4.5-minute scoring drought from the field for Virginia. They cannot afford that kind of offense versus Texas Tech. It's going to be an incredible difference in defense, but this is what Virginia is meant to do. Virginia needs to be able to be that efficient offensive team and continue to play that stout, suffocating defense like Texas Tech is capable of.
No disagreement here. And you bring up Jerome. He's the guy that had the double dribble at the end, the missed call, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't necessarily think he played a great game, though, overall, Max. I mean, especially at the end. He had a couple mistakes there.
Yeah, no, I thought that Ty Jerome had to take a lot of the offense on him. His facilitating and his handling of the ball pressure from Auburn's guards was critical to the success and to the win tonight. I just think that when he's off the floor, there's a major difference in how Kihei Clark runs the offense. When you have Kihei Clark and Ty Jerome playing in the same backcourt together, handling the ball, and both of them rotating, coming off the ball, that's when Virginia is very dangerous defensively, and you know that they're going to run proper offense. I've just been watching a lot of Ty Jerome this year, and what I see is that this team plays less Virginia-like with him on the bench.
Yeah, he's a great player, and ultimately defensively, I think what won the game for Virginia, gave him the chance to be in it at the end and then ultimately win it. Their defense, especially on Jared Harper for Auburn. I don't think Jared Harper played well. Pretty much the whole game. He did hit a couple key threes there, and he played okay. I don't think he played to his ability. You know, in my opinion, he's one of the best players, more underrated players in the country. And they played a great defense against him. He was not dominating like he had all March. They played the best defense I've seen anybody play on him really all season. And he did have his spurts there at the end of the first half. And then in their run of, like you just mentioned, 9 or 11-0 towards the end, Jared Harper was money, man, and how quick he is running down, getting those layups, dishing out. But other than those like 2 or 3 spurts, man, he was not dominating like he did in Kentucky. You know, he had 26 points against Kentucky. He only had 11 versus Virginia. And Auburn is just not going to be have their best game with Jared Harper scoring 11 points. There's no way around that. And so that's what I think won the game for Virginia ultimately. But they're not going to have to deal with Jared Harper this time. They're going to have to deal with Jared Culver, who, heck, he's one of the best players in the country. He's going to be a top draft pick. Not that, Jared Harper won't see himself in the NBA at some point, but Jared Culver is definitely projected higher in the NBA draft, so they're going to have to play great team defense on him. But let's get into it. I mean, we got Texas Tech, Virginia, the 3-seed Texas Tech making it into the championship game, Max, versus the Virginia Cavaliers. Heck, one of the best teams all season long. Great defense. We know it. 2 top 5 efficiency defenses, and both of them top 30 efficiency offenses. Neither team's going to push it. Texas Tech, I believe, in the 280s in terms of offensive tempo. And Virginia, as we know, one of, if not the slowest team in the country. We see it here in this total. 117 now. We're even seeing a 116.5 at Heritage, the sponsor of the show. So really low total here, man. As far as national championship games go, one of the lowest totals of my memory anyway. And we're seeing -1 across the board right now. And that's Virginia -1. We were seeing -2s when it first opened yesterday. I just saw it on Twitter. I didn't actually get any bets down on it, but Bookmaker just went to 1.5 actually. That's Virginia -1.5. So we're seeing mostly 1.5 out there, Max. What's your kind of opening thoughts here? Texas Tech versus Virginia in the national championship Monday night.
Yeah, it's a really scary proposition to bet against this Texas Tech team now. Definitely having some reservations about it, but my team is in the finals. My team is there. My team is 40 minutes away from going from the first team to lose to a 16 and winning it all the next year. My issue for Texas Tech is, wow, did they fucking struggle with foul trouble in the first half? And what do? Wow, they just freaking fixed that ASAP Rocky in the second, Odiasi was very solid defensively, coming on help defense. I think that he is definitely going to be able to do the same thing versus Virginia. Tariq Owens, can't say enough about him. His rim protection, his toughness, his ability to go for loose balls, that was plainly evident, even though he did play limited minutes. And of course, I can't stop without saying something nice about the freshman and the future for this Texas Tech team in Kyler Edwards. Played some good minutes, got 19 minutes in there, hit a 3, got a couple boards, didn't turn the ball over. Every time he had the ball in his hands and he shot the ball, I was literally yelling, please don't make it. Please don't make it, because I'm literally afraid of the potential this guy has for next year. So the bottom line is this Texas Tech team is no joke. This Texas Tech team is ready to go. And it is a real hard game to pick a side. But if you're going to twist my arm right now, and I know that my brain is going to twist my arm into making a bet on this, I'm getting on Virginia. Regardless of what I've seen and how dominant this Texas Tech team has been against Michigan State, against Michigan, against Buffalo, against Gonzaga, I got to still go with Virginia. Virginia is on a destiny. They're on a path. God woke them up in the middle of the night, said, listen, Ty, DeAndre, Kyle, Mamadi, Kihei, you're going to win a championship. You're going to do it for the state of Virginia. They're known as for their far-right white supremacy. We're going to give them something else to fucking know Virginia for. National championship.
Is Virginia really known for far-right white supremacy?
In Canada, that's the first thing that comes to mind when you mention the state of Virginia.
I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of the state of Virginia is one, Charlottesville is a very nice college town, and the other one is Michael Vick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people don't remember Michael Vick or think about Michael Vick and his goddamn dog brutality. It's man's best friend, not fucking man's best entertainment. Piece of shit.
Hell of an athlete, though.
Hell of an athlete, but definitely deserves a nice, dehydrated bowl of urine in his face.
Well, we'll leave that for another day. It cost him over $100 million, man. But either way, I will say this about the game, Max. This is a Virginia team. What, they're 34-1 versus all teams not named Duke this year. Tony Bennett, I know he's not the AP Coach of the Year like Chris Beard, but we've seen it. The in-game coaching, out of the break, Virginia went on a 9-0 run, something crazy. They definitely went on a run, changed what they were doing a little bit, and it showed. I think that he outcoached Bruce Pearl to an extent. I don't think I would give the coaching angle to Grisbeard. I think Tony Bennett is head to head with him anyway. Virginia, going through the ACC, I think had a tougher schedule than Texas Tech overall. Maybe not their tournament run, going through Gardner-Webb, Oklahoma, Oregon, Purdue, Auburn. That run, definitely isn't one of the tougher runs that we've seen. But Texas Tech, on the other hand, Northern Kentucky, Buffalo, Michigan, Gonzaga, Michigan State. That's a tough run. They've proved it, and they've looked good. There's no doubt. I think that Virginia, their defense is a little bit more sustainable, and I'm a little bit more confident in them showing up defensively than I am Texas Tech. Even though Texas Tech's been on a run, they have Jarrett Culver, but on the other hand, Kyle Guy, man, we've seen it. Time and ice in the veins, like you said, on the free throw line, shooting threes. He's looked good. I don't have a really strong opinion either way. I was going to pound the under, and I was thinking it would come out at like 123 or ish in that area and be on the under, but we're sub 120 here, man. There's not a lot of room to play with. It's 60 possessions, a point per possession. I just don't know if there's a lot of value on this under at this number. So I think it gets kind of tricky finding plays. And guys, again, we'll be on Monday tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, going over all things. There'll be a lot of prop bets out too. Sure, this afternoon and tomorrow have some more time to research the game and find a good bet. But I'm with you. My opening thoughts here, Virginia -1 seems to be the side I'm going to bet. I haven't made a personal bet as of right now, Max. Have you made any bets off the opening odds?
No, I haven't made anything, but as soon as I get off with you and our SBR Madness fanatics, I will be laying the money line on Virginia at the very least. As far as the total, I agree with you there. I'm not playing the total. This is a game where it can easily go either way with the number that they're posting. I don't think that there's value in it. I have this game going up to 124, so take that how you may. I just don't trust it. I would have thought that this number jumped up a little bit. I wouldn't have thought that it went down 2.5 points. So I'm just gonna ride with Virginia. That's what I've predicted to win the national championship. So I'm just going to keep on that. I am very hesitant to back Virginia on the first half. What we've seen constantly is Texas Tech can get out to good first halves. Virginia has poor first halves. I think that's going to be the same situation. And obviously, when Virginia's down at halftime, like I am thinking that they will be, there will be value to take them live on the money line. But yeah, I'll be looking to get on Virginia right away on the money line and then watching the number and seeing what happens with it.
That's not a bad idea, waiting to bet it live. And a lot of times, no matter what side you're betting, at some point in the game, you can get a better number than the open odds. Not always, but a lot of the time. Christopher Gargano in the chat saying UVA has been winning games, but Texas Tech has been beating good teams down. That is true, at least of late. Ben Sports in the house. I think Virginia players a little bit more skilled, and I see some mismatches between the guards favoring Virginia. Do you agree with him? Do you think the guards favor Virginia?
Yeah, I do, but we have to take that with an asterisk because look at what the guy who I said couldn't step it up, Matt Mooney, did yesterday. Matt Mooney had a size advantage. He used it. He just was able to take advantage of the 1 or 2 weaknesses in Cassius Winston's game, and we saw it. Listen, I took it in the bottom mouth on that also, but it is what it is. I think that this Texas Tech guard play is just susceptible because what can you expect from Jared Culver? Jared Culver's had 2 really bad shooting games. I believe that he is 8 for 30 in his last 2. So if Jared Culver doesn't shoot the ball better, that just makes it a lot more difficult for Texas Tech. And the issue for Texas Tech is, can they get production from the bench? I think that they can. I just think in the end, like you said, better coaching, a little better skill, like Ben Sports is saying, and just the fact that this team has been working towards this for many months. Where Texas Tech, this isn't something that they anticipated genuinely in the beginning of the season, in my opinion. Losing 5 seniors and five departures from their main rotation from last year.
Yeah, you bring up Jared Culver. If he only had 10 points against Michigan State. If he only has 10 points against Virginia, I think it's going to be tough for Texas Tech to win this game. I think he's going to need to go closer to 20 points if the Red Raiders are going to come out on top. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see. They were able to beat a good Michigan State team with him only scoring 10 points. Athletes with Tech, are you crazy? That's from Rico. Wake up at 7 a.m. and you guys are already talking b-ball. That's from Hit Money on the West Coast. Absolutely, man. Welcome in. We're trying to get on the right side here. And guys, feel free to chime in with what you're seeing here, what you're looking to bet off the opening odds and why. You know, some good points when we work together. Multiple minds are better than one. So let's try to find some winners out there. Hating on Texas boys will leave you broke. We already got NIT, now Nipsey Hussle, the great behind us. Hey, is there something to that? You know, Texas winning the NIT. Now we're finding Texas Tech here looking pretty dominant through the run here of the NCAA tournament. Is that something you bring into maybe this national championship game, as the market is still underrating, you know, the state of Texas, but ultimately the Big 12 conference college basketball?
Yeah, I think that the Big 12 has definitely been a little underrated just because we haven't seen the usual domination that we have in the past. I don't know about this whole Texas thing. It's basketball. You have to play the game that you've been practicing since you were a child and working on every day of your life. So I don't really throw outside events into my capping of college basketball players. The only person that was close with Nipsey Hussle on Texas Tech is Brandon Francis. So, yeah, if guys from Texas wanna shout out that, obviously I support that. But for me and my capping, it doesn't really have anything to do with it. Listen, Texas Tech has a 50-50 shot to win this game. So, athletic-wise, I don't know about that. That's up for debate. I don't think that athletically Texas Tech is that much more dominant than Virginia. I can see matchups that work in both teams' favor. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be an entertaining game. It's going to be a defensive game. What more can you ask for? The 2 best defensive teams in the nation. I don't really care what really happens with this game. I want Virginia to win, but the fact is we're getting one of the most entertaining national championship possibilities that we could have. You know, it's not going to entertain the new fan to March Madness, but for all of us college basketball junkies, we all know what it is. So in the end, who do I care about entertaining? Guys that actually put their money on this shit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about, finding the winners. And yeah, you know, the state of Texas thing is an interesting kind of talking point. But and it's a nice feather in the cap. But I mean, ultimately, it comes down to if you're going to use it for actually trying to gain an advantage in the national championship game. I think it comes down to more of a conference thing. So the Big 12 in whole, because that's the way your schedule plays out. But there might be something to it as far as high school recruiting. You know, just 1 or 2 years from the high school basketball kids staying in state, and maybe that's the reason. But ultimately, I think it's more of a conference affiliation thing. Max, I guess, man, we got a couple minutes left. Anything else you want to throw out there? Some guys in the chat, Dwayne saying, lock on the Blazers in the NBA. You got any NBA knowledge you want to throw out?
Yeah, no, the only NBA knowledge I have to throw out is tail, ski, profit. That's the way to approach the NBA. I hate the NBA, to be quite frank with you. The only reason why I know anything about the NBA is because a lot of college basketball players obviously graduate from college ranks to the NBA. There's nothing that interests me in betting on a bunch of millionaires who you just don't know what effort you're going to get from on a nightly basis. The fact is, it's Sunday. They could have been in the strip club last night. They weren't at the strip club that I work at. But regardless, I just don't trust the work ethic of NBA players, and it's just not something I want to put my money on. If you want to ask me about a sport that I'll be betting on, I'll be looking for some NCAA college softball today to get on, because I love watching those college women jumping, running, shaking those beautiful body parts. Don't give a shit what their sexual orientation is. Just love women.
Man, and what sports books are you betting the NCAA softball games at?
The only one that most people will be able to bet with is Five Dimes. Unfortunately, they're a bunch of cowards with their freaking money lines, so they don't like to put run lines on. But my local will take some action. He just heavily juices it to try to deter me. But I know I can go 3-0 every day on college softball. So even if he tries to juice it to minus 150 instead of giving me minus 110 odds, I'll still take it. I'll still take him to the cleaners, and I'll still bend his wife over and split her like a peach.
I know I can go 3-0 on a college basketball Sunday. That's called confidence right there, Max.
Well, college softball, that's my second love, bud. That's my game, Has multiple things pulling my eye and my attention. Women, softball. That's a lot for me.
Absolutely. Two good things, and when you can bet on it, that is great. J93, happy to have you, man. And yeah, season's only one more game left. I've only seen on Five Dimes out of all books, sadly. That's for the college softball there. Yeah, Ryder, same here. I'll be here all season next year. Absolutely, man. I am down to do this again next year, Max. Hopefully you don't have too much big things planned next year, and we can break it down really all season long, college basketball.
I would be incredibly down to do that. Obviously, I need to probably work on my anger management when it comes to Twitter, because I could be very, very, what is a good word? I could be very volatile, I would say. So I have to work on that, but I have a bunch of months to be able to do that. So hopefully I'll be able to. Just want to throw out a little tidbit about college softball today. We do have the #1 team in the nation, UCLA Bruins, playing Arizona State. And, of course, those UCLA Bruin ladies, mwah, like art, sculpted art. And they're legal to take to a bar.
Nice, man. And Rico saying there's better athletes in Texas. Maybe. There's probably very, very good athletes in Texas. I always noticed it more so in football, but because there's a lot of good athletes in high school football in the state of Florida, and talking with, and being at the same camps as the kids from Texas, they were also better coached. So I don't know about just strictly better athletes at the high school level, and comparing it to kind of Florida and Georgia where I grew up, but they were definitely better coached. They knew like the gaps, the assignments a lot better than at least, what my high school did, as far as, knowing the sport and breaking it down that way. So there might be something to that. Vixen women's final. I'm not up to date in the college basketball women.
Can I just step in to say something about this?
Yeah, go for it.
You know what? Fuck you, Notre Dame, you punk-ass bitches. You knocked out my UConn Huskies. Again. Don't think I forgot. Don't think I didn't see what you did. Come to Canada, I'm going to spit in your food. That's it.
That's for betting the NCAA women's for you. But all right, Max. Anything else you want to throw out before we shut this down?
No, obviously, I just want to throw out my last thing. Remember, regardless of what sport you're betting, make sure you're serving cock soup to your bookies. Serve it icy cold. That's the way it has to be served. And remember, when you win, you take your winnings to the local Popeyes. You buy your boxes of chicken tenders. You get the organic honey because we don't want barbecue or ranch. That equals strippers farting. You take those chicken tenders to the variety of local strip clubs in your neighborhood and you support local strippers. They need us. They need degenerates like us supporting them. Let's do it for the local strippers.
Do it for the local strippers, absolutely. Buck Nasty saying bong toke. Have at it, Bong Nasty. We also got Gino getting his ass whooped lately. Max, dude, we're going to be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the main show. Dave Mason will be joining us from the other side of the counter. He's at Bet Online. We'll also have Babano. That's Ian Cameron with us as well. So we'll be breaking down the game. Also have some prop bets for you. Final bets going into the national championship game. Texas Tech versus Virginia. Bookmaker has gone back to 1, so somebody's playing with that line at Bookmaker as far as trying to get 1.5 there. So look out for that. The market is jumping around right now on this line. But guys, until then, we'll be back 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific tomorrow afternoon, breaking down the game from all angles for a full hour with Dave Mason from Bet Online. He'll join us for a little bit. We'll get his take on the money they're taking, also some props that he likes. And Max will be there. Ian Cameron will be there. I'll be there. We'll have best bets as well. So thanks for tuning in. Happy Sunday to you. Be safe for the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time, breaking down the national championship game. Best of luck with your bets today, guys.